The Black Panther. And this is David from David Books and Comics. And the Black Panther first appeared in Fantastic Four number 52 as a sympathetic type of superhero. T'Challa was his name. He was the ruler of a fictional country called Wakanda on the African continent, a kind of lost world on the continent. In the character's initial concept, Wakanda was a highly advanced society with advanced technology and gadgetry. In these early Fantastic Four adventures, created by artist Jack Kirby and writer-editor Stan Lee, the creators were able to take the character to previously unimagined heights of grandeur. The character was popular with fans, and eventually that popularity created this need for a solo series. In this anthology title, Jungle Action, and that's what I'm going to present to you today, is my Jungle Action collection that featured the solo adventures of the Black Panther. So the issue started with number 5. And number 5 of the Jungle Action series is usually the most sought after because it's the first start of the solo run. But it is actually a reprint of an Avengers comic book, and I'll show you a cover of that, of number 62. So we'll go through the run, and I'll tell you the names of the cover artists, and we'll do a little deep dive into a couple of the issues, especially I think the issue number 12, 11, 12, and we'll go over some of those because they feature the work of Billy Graham. But we'll go through the cover first. So the first issue is number 5, as I said. The cover is by John Romita Sr. And it's, like I said, it's a reprint of the Avengers issue number 62. All right, so it's a beautiful action-oriented type cover. It features the character T'Challa and his fight against the man-ape, as it's called there. Right, it's a nice little issue here. Number 5, nice cover. Number 6, the cover artist is Rich Buckler, and he was the primary artist for the interior art of the series. Excellent start for the series. The writing was done by a guy named Frank McGregor. Don McGregor, sorry. Don McGregor. And this is issue number 6. I've had that issue for a long, long time. It's been part of my collection. This is a well-read issue, number 6. The Man Called Killmonger. It's the first appearance of this character, Killmonger, and it's really the start of the series. It's the beginning of what became known as the Panther's Rage storyline. All right, so that's issue number 6. Issue number 7 features cover art with Rich Buckler and Klaus Jansen. And there you have, it's a nice, fairly nice cover with our lead protagonist, the Black Panther, in a vulnerable state there. It's a beautiful cover. And this is one of my favorites. This is Jungle Action number 8. And it says the all-new, all-great origin of the Black Panther. And that's the third issue of the Panther's Rage storyline. All right. Nice cover by Rich Buckler and Frank Giacoia. And this is one of my favorite covers, number 9 in this series. And the art there is Gil Kane. Gil Kane and Mike Esposito did the cover art for this. Baron Macabre and his Denizens of Death. Alright, so that's that one. And as you see there, you see the cover of Essential, the Essential #1 volume of the Black Panther. And it's the same cover there, but beautifully colored for the Essential issue. A big phone book sized Essential book. So that's that one. That's number 10. Beautiful cover by Gil Kane and Frank Giacoia. All right, I did the inking for the cover. And there's a bit of a glare, so I'll get you to see. That's number 11. And the cover artist there is Gil Kane and Dan Adkins. So that's a nice, beautiful cover. And that's Lord Carnage and Death Makes 3. That's that. Number 12 is a sign there. It's Rich Buckler and Klaus Jansen did the cover, and there's Killmonger. Killmonger is behind all of the villains in this piece. Just a well-crafted storyline. I'll get more into that later on in this presentation. So that's that. And this is issue number 13, Jungle Action 13, Wrath of the White Gorilla. Within these pages, you will meet the man called Somber, and you aren't going to like him. The cover art there is by Gil Kane and Klaus Jansen. This one's signed on the cover. Number 13. Number 14 is beautiful cover. Dinosaur cover with Gil Kane and Pablo Marcos doing the cover art chores. Beautiful cover. All right, it's that one. Number 15. Still have my old comic bags. Number 15 is cover art by Gil Kane. Prehistoric death looms high above Wakanda. Flesh-piercing doom awaits below. So this Wakanda is a kind of a lost world, technological fantasy world that takes place within a hidden world in the ancient jungles of Africa. So eventually the story and myth of the Black Panther is fleshed out in the later world building done by different writers and artists. You'll see some of the covers. I have some of them there. Some of the covers of the comics that I've picked up for the Black Panther. So here's number 16. Cover art is by Gil Kane. All right. And then we have number 17. And this is it, the census-shattering climax of the Panther's Rage. And there's the final battle between Killmonger and the Black Panther, T'Challa. The end of an epic, and perhaps the end of the Black Panther, and one shall die. And you can tell that this may have been based on the storyline of the first Black Panther movie. And this one is cover art is by Jack Kirby, number 18, and Klaus Jansen. So you can see Kirby, you can't deny Kirby's style of artwork. And this is before he did the solo Black Panther series, which I do not have. The issues I did have, I gave to my brother who collects all the Kirby comics. This is 19. And this is issue number 19. And it's a nice comic, beautiful cover, despite the aging. You can see on the sides there. You can see there on the sides the foxing. Anyway, 19. This is cover art is by Gil Kane and Dan Adkins. Sacrifice of Blood. And this, T'Challa battles the Ku Klux Klan. The setting for this changes. After the epilogue, issue in number 18, the setting changed to, I believe, New York City, if I remember correctly. But it's Don McGregor doing the writing chores. The interior artwork is Billy Graham. All right. Number 20 has Rich Buckler and Dan Adkins. You can see Adkins' style there. It's a wonderful cover. All right. Action in the heart of a teeming city as only the mighty Marvel can present it. Number 21. This is a John Romita cover. John Romita Sr. and Rich Buckler. So Rich Buckler actually did the cover. Romita did the inking. And I see more of Romita than I do of Buckler actually in this work. But I love this cover. And here he's fighting against the Klan. The rampage of the Klan continues, and the Panther will be their next victim. And number 22. Cover art is Rich Buckler and Frank Giacoia. Doom is the Death Rider. All right. Nice cover there by the two artists. And this is an iconic cover. A recent pickup from you've seen from my last video. And this is John Byrne and Dan Adkins. As you can see, it's more Byrne than Adkins. With Jan Adkins doing excellent ink work, and John Byrne credited with doing this beautiful cover. It's Jungle Action number 23. And this is number 24 in the series, the last of the solo run. The last of the solo run. And what do we have here? The Wind Eagle. He strikes from the savage skies. All right, that's that one. And this is the only one I bought. I wasn't a fan of this guy. It's a good acclaimed series by a writer named, I believe he changed his name, but he called himself Christopher Priest. And the artist is Mark Teixeira, and he's the one who did this gorgeous painted cover. It's one of my favorite covers in the whole Black Panther run. It's definitely right up there. It's one of the best covers I have in my collection. All right. And then we have The cover here is by, well, it says it has 3 writers. It's John Romita Jr., Klaus Jansen, and the interior art, the cover credits are mostly John Romita Jr. and Klaus Jansen. But this is the Marvel Knights edition, the 2005 series of Black Panther. And this is number 2. Another beautiful, this one's a beautiful painted cover. And the cover is by an artist named, and I'm going to mangle the name, Isad Ribic or Ribich, but I'm not sure. So if I mangle the name, I apologize. But that's Isad Ribic. And it has the first appearance of Shuri, T'Challa's sister, who's introduced for the first time in this issue. It's a beautiful painted cover. It's one of the best. All right, and let me take this out of the glare. And this is the Marvel Essentials. And this has the excellent black and white collection of the whole Panther's Rage runs. It doesn't reprint the reprint issues. The issue of number issue of number 23, which is Daredevil, actually number 69. Its interior art is, or the interior of the comic is Daredevil number 69. It doesn't reprint that, and it doesn't reprint Avengers number 62, but rather it reprints the entire run of the Don McGregor and the Billy Graham artwork in the comic books. But and I'll show you some of that. We'll do a deep dive and we'll look through it, okay? And then you can enjoy it yourself. All right, so here's this beautiful, gorgeous cover. Gil Kane is the artist, obviously. And obviously one of the better art pieces in the story. And it has the entire black and white run of Jungle Action. As you can see, the first Jungle Action issue to cover headline Panther, reprinting Avengers number 62. So instead, it goes right into the Panther's Rage storyline. All right. Cover is splash page is Rich Buckler. Klaus Jansen did the inking. And it starts off the story with the village, an outlying village. You can see kind of the entire look of the village being ransacked by this guy, Killmonger. And there he is. And because of that, the Panther's Rage storyline begins, all in 17 pages each. And there's your map of both central Wakanda and the whole land of Wakanda. It starts off here, and the artist here is Rich Buckler. Klaus Jansen did the interior art. And we go on to issue number 8. Some gorgeous splash pages. And I'll probably have to show you some of that in color so you can see. But see, Panther's Rage. The storyline continues. Don McGregor is credited with having written one of the first graphic novels. And when he is credited with that, it's because of these series of comics. All right, that's Buckler and Jansen. And with this issue, Gil Kane took up the art chores with issue number 9, only for this, I believe. So Don McGregor and Gil Kane and Klaus Jansen did the art chores here. And it does pop nicely in black and white, where you see all the detail of the artwork. That's the good thing about having these phone book sized black and white reprints. Look at this double splash page. It's number 9. I'll show it to you in color. And there's number 10, the cover, the aforementioned. And here it's Billy Graham. And you see more of Klaus Jansen's work in the work of Billy Graham. With issue number 6 of the Jungle Action, the story arc of the Black Panther's Rage begins. Writer Don McGregor composes a compelling story where Eric Killmonger initiates a vicious attack on an outlying Wakandan village. Nearly left for dead from the beginning of the story, the Black Panther begins his adventure of payback, and aptly titled. The story is called The Panther's Rage. And there is another gorgeous splash page. The 12-issue story arc is considered a high mark of the mid-1970s at Marvel. The story intrigued me, and it is what led me into eventually collecting the entire run. As soon as I saw one of the issues, I just kept after, picking up one after another. I wanted you to see this. This is how Jack Kirby initially envisioned the Black Panther. So I'll just read it out to you. Here it is, people. Jack Kirby's original costume for the Black Panther. Only would you believe that back in those halcyon days, Stan and Jack were calling him the Coal Tiger. You've no doubt noticed a few slight changes in T'Challa's attire and name, which gives you just a vague idea of what kind of visual preparations and character attitudes are considered before one of our scintillating heroes burst full-blown into comic book reality. So here it is, Marvel. So here it is, Marvelites. Feast your eyes on this rare collector's item presented for the first time ever. Okay. And there's the beautifully imagined, beautifully drawn Rich Buckler and Klaus Jansen creation of Eric Killmonger. So, and this is what stayed in the series. And this is Billy Graham. All right. I'll continue on, but I'll just skip over some of the excellent artwork. This is an excellent book to get, by the way, if you're looking for a quick, complete run of and a quick read. It's actually a long read, but a quick collection of the Black Panther. So this is the first few issues, I think 8 or 9, of the Jack Kirby run on the solo Black Panther title. This is, 9 issues. So Kirby returned to his character. And with Kirby, he stayed with what he created, initially conceived in the Fantastic Four comics, with the highly, very imaginative technological world of Wakanda. Introduced these characters and lots of action. It's a great, great. a great series. All right, so anyway, so I'm going to show you some of the color work on for some of the issues, okay, so that you can enjoy, especially the Billy Graham drawn issues. All right, now just let me flip through some of these. So we have issue number 10, and this is Billy Graham's introduction into the series, and it has all of that just wonderful detail that he's known for, especially the look at the background. Just look at the background. It's just an incredible story. What he's known for is this detail and creating all this musculature and emphasis on his character. For me, the heavy inking and artistic style of artist Billy Graham, who with his, as I said, the musculature on the character he drew, gave the Panther style and emphasis. This seemed to complement Don McGregor's writing style. So, very wordy. That's one of the things you notice about Don McGregor's work. But this is definitely the high point. And there you see in color, this is splash page of that monstrosity. There's Marvel value stamp. Make sure the value of your book stays with that value stamp intact. And there it is. So it's definitely not what eventually they ended up with. I think they kept all the black, got rid of these striations, and came up with a much better concept in their character. All right, so that's issue number 10. It would only get better as the run continued on with issue number 11. And we'll just do a flip through, we won't go into the story, but this is the color. So once you slay the dragon. And here is, just go back a bit. Yeah, this is Billy Graham and Klaus Jansen, but like in the previous issues, you see more of Graham's influence than anything else. Just wonderful, the way they make that continuity, bringing it into a flashback. Yep. Look at the dark, the silhouettes and shading, story continuity. You get a sense of his animal-like instincts, and that's his girlfriend, Monica. That has some interesting, Ralph Macchio, who later became an editor at Marvel Comics, did a lot of commenting on a lot of in the letters page. And look at that. Nice splash page. And this has little text. Just wonderful stuff. A collection of Pantherish clues, or what really happened the night Zatanna died. All right. Interesting. Just a well-crafted story. You can't go wrong in collecting the series. So, more history. This is what was initially conceived for issue number 52. So, last issue we showed you Jack Kirby's original sketch for the Panther. Now we bring you the heretofore unrevealed drama of Kirby's first layout for the cover of the Panther's appearance in Fantastic Four issue number 52, to be exact. Do you think the competition are still tearing out their hair? Sheesh. But that must hurt. So, let's see. Yeah. The surprise sensation of the century. Watch the competition tear their hair when they see the Black Panther. I think the one they ended up with is much better. All right, so that's that. Thought you'd enjoy seeing that. If you don't have these, I suggest you even just getting reading copies. And here's another. And here, look at that. The dark, the light, contrast between the two panels, the continuity. Just incredible work, all in 17 pages. Just wonderful. Killmonger is all in almost every issue of. He's always the background character, which eventually leads to the final battle between him and the Panther. Another splash page. Incredible. You can see why collectors like me became enamored by this series. And more of kind of an overview of the story as it appeared. All right. And two of my favorite characters. And the letters page. Oh, Dean Mulaney. He sounds familiar. All right. So that's issue number 12. And we'll go through one last issue. I don't want to make this too long. And just incredible splash page. So. Entry into the story. All Billy Graham. That's why Billy Graham is the highlight of the series as far as I'm concerned. Not to say anything bad about Jansen and Gil Kane and others, because they're excellent artists. But just it added a depth to the series. Just a wonderful imagining of the jungle world. And that one of the battles between Killmonger and the Black Panther. Yeah, this is just a foretaste. All taking place in Africa, by the way. The scene didn't switch out of Africa until later. And artistry, bonus. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this look at one of my favorite collections. Is the appearances of the Black Panther in one of his iconic stories in the pages of Jungle Action from issues number 6 to issue number 24. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon, and enjoy your comic books.